Hi, and welcome back to the Business Career College video series. This video is going to be part 9 of the multi-year cash flow videos. Again, this video is only really relevant for those going through the Capstone course. So you're going to find this a little bit, again, bogged down otherwise. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take care of what might seem like a minor detail, and probably is in most cases, but we want to make sure that when we're taking money out of an RSP or RRIF, that we're at least getting to our RRIF minimums. Now, you might say, well, Jason, could you build a formula for the RRIF minimums? And you can. It's quite complicated. The problem is there are 3 different formulas for the RRIF minimum, depending if somebody is not yet age 71 or between 71 and 94 or over 94. We could do that in Excel, but somebody's already done it for us. So what we're going to do here is we're going to actually use Google here. Sorry, I'm going to search my RRIF minimum. And I'm actually going to use this page. I happen to know this one works. What you'll find is when you see tables like this, they're actually done in a format that's generally copyable into Excel. So I actually just straight out of Google here, I'm going to go and I'm going to grab all of this data. I'm going to Control-C, copy that formula, or copy that data. And I'm going to pop back into Excel then. And I'm just going to kind of cheat here for a second. I'm going to copy that down here, just into this sheet down below. I'm not going to use it like this. It's not particularly helpful. I don't care about this information up at the top here. I'm going to get rid of that. Get rid of those 2 rows. And I don't want, there's another chunk down here that shows the ages. Again, I'm going to get rid of those 2 rows. Or those 2 cells. So now I really have the information that I need here, and I'm just going to grab it all. And again, I Control-C. And I know that it starts at age 65. Realistically, that's probably going to suffice for most cases. I can actually math it out prior to that if I have to. The formula for prior to age 71 is simply the RRIF amount divided by 1 minus age. So I can just basically take the, the RRIF amount divided by 90 minus age. So I could just do 1 divided by those amounts, and I could have that okay. That only works up until age 71. So now I know that starts at age 65. I'm just going to go over here to the age 65 cell, and I'm going to use paste special here, and I'm just going to paste, and I'm going to transpose that information. So it moves it from being up and down to being across here, from being vertical to being horizontal. I'm going to delete the row with the ages in them because I already have that. And maybe I'm not too happy with how the formatting looks there, but it's not that big a deal. So now I've got my percentages here all copied all the way across. And I know once it's 20%, it's always 20%. I can just copy that across as well. So it's everything north of 95, or 95 and north, I guess, is 20%. And if I want to make sure this is done properly, what I can even do here is, and this will take me right to age 70 if I want to do it this way, I really can take this, I can do equals 1 divided by, and I can do 90 minus age. And that's going to tell me what the RRIF minimum is in any given year. I'm going to change that to percentages, which the stuff on the right side already is. Just make sure that they're not decimals to help out here. And then I can copy that all the way across. It's more ambitious there. And we can see that these would be the RRIF minimums in any given year, the RRIF minimum withdrawal amounts. So I can see this projects out, and I can just confirm that. I can copy those over, and they're going to stay the same. Okay. And if I want everything to look the same all the way across, I can just do a format paint here, and I can paint that format. Again, this only really matters if you're fussy about formatting. And copy that all the way across, and now we have this RRIF minimum built out, the RRIF minimum percentage. So now the obvious thing here is that's the percent RRIF minimum. And now I want to do the amount for the RRIF minimum. And that's straightforward. That's simply going to be the balance in the RSP, and that is the beginning of year balance, so that's good. That's what it should be, the balance as of January 1st. So we're going to take that beginning of the year balance, simply times the RRIF minimum. And if Jeff RRIF'd at age 31, that would be his RRIF minimum that year, $254.24. And we just copy that all the way across. Now, I can see what his RRIF minimums are in each given year. So 214, oh sorry, that would be nine times the 11, yeah, we're good. And oh, we got too many decimals there. That's why we're going to take those decimals out. We're not. Just bear with me for a moment here. Select all those cells, and then I'll take all the decimals out, and then everything should clean up appropriately, I hope. Because we're not too concerned about the pennies. And now I can see the years in which Jeff might not be meeting his RRIF minimum, although I think he's got it every year. I could just spot check it like this, but I can actually, oh, there's a year where we're over. So we know at age 80, Jeff's RRIF minimum is larger than his actual withdrawal. So I can actually get my formula to cooperate with this. And I'm going to go back to where I built the formula. And now I'm going to say, all right, we know that this amount has to be greater than, the amount in here has to be greater than this amount. So simply what we're going to do is we're going to say, all right, Excel, we're going to put a maximum formula here, and we're going to choose the maximum between my RRIF minimum and that payment that we had already calculated. So now I'm just doing the maximum between number 1 here and number 2, and now we just have to close that out. Now we should be good here. And we can copy that all the way across. And now we should have, we'll just pop back to age 81 here, it should be the case that we're never taking it less. So here we've got 122, 688. Here's where because what happened now is we pushed back a couple of years, but here we can see that he has in fact bumped up against his RRIF minimum a few years here. And so it does change a little bit from what we originally projected. So I hope that helps to be able to calculate the RRIF minimum. You can see here we don't bump into it, here we don't bump into it, here we don't bump into it, but here we do bump into it, and this is where we're not just going to use the payment now, we're going to use the RRIF minimum. And that does adjust everything going forward because we already adjusted our RRSP balance to take into account the proper amount of withdrawal. So I hope that helps. That does show you how to apply a RRIF minimum to a multi-year cash flow. And we also built our multi-year cash flow, so it's taking its Q off of the minimum payment. We're good to go that way. That should be it. That should take you right to the end of your retirement projections for multi-year cash flow. I hope you enjoy your continued studies. Thank you very much.